providers. You know, what else goes into the school? Teachers, any type of professionals that's at the school, like some of these therapists, the coaches, the games and stuff like that. You want to learn some of these lingos for when they're speaking around you, or when you're speaking to the teacher, or when you're speaking to your kid, even. You know, it can help you to understand. For example, whether the speech therapist and other services provided are pushing in or pushing out or working with your child in the classroom or pulling them out. You see what I'm saying? So taking them several locations and stuff like that. You know, it's very important. You know, the information can guide questions to ask your child. You know, learn different questions to ask your child. And don't be afraid to ask your child, to ask your children questions, because that's important. You know, the more you know about your kid, the more you can help them. If you don't know, you cannot help them. So it's important to ask them questions. Okay? Very important to ask them questions. Get along with them, you know. The last but not least, I'm gonna leave you guys with is communicate regularly. I've already mentioned that. Communicate regularly. Build that communication with your kids. It's very important. That helps them get close to you, that helps you get close to them, and that helps you to stay in control of them. You know, some of the things I didn't do when I was younger, even when I had my wild stage, is because I always heard my mother's voice in my head. I always heard her voice in my head saying not to do this, not to do that. Respect your elders, this, that, or the other. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, even when I was confronted with or came up to do certain things, and I would hear her voice in my head, or I would be thinking about how disappointed she would be if this happened to me. So that helped me to stay safe. And that is also one of the things I also use with my kids. My mother used to give me a lot of whoopings up to a certain age. But I also, like I said, remember some of those conversations we had, and that's what I use with my kids. I don't even whoop them. I have those conversations with them, and sometimes I'll say to them, just my oldest, I'll be like, you don't want to see daddy sad, do you? Like, no. Okay, so if you do that, daddy's gonna be sad. You wanna get daddy sad? No, daddy. Like, okay, so don't do that, okay? Because that makes me sad. When I'm sad, you sad. Don't do that. You understand me? Yes, daddy. You know, and sometimes I have to be a little more stern with them. I say, hey, look here. You know I don't like that, right? You understand that. Don't ever do that again. You know, sometimes you gotta put that fear in them, but you don't want to always be that hard. You know, sometimes you have to speak to them. You have to be monotone with them, calm it down for them. You know, because even in relationships that we discussed before, when you're speaking to a man, you don't. There's a difference when you're speaking to your man and when you're speaking at your man. You see what I'm saying? It's also the same thing with the kids. There's a difference when you're speaking to a child and when you're yelling at a child. There's difference when you're speaking to a child and when you're speaking at the child. Okay? So learn the difference, apply them, and see some of these changes happen with your kids. You know? Meeting and parent-teacher conferences, you know, have meeting with the teachers, parent-teacher conferences. Don't wait until something happened for you to have a meeting with the teacher. You know, don't wait for them to call you in. You know, have a meeting with them. You know, visit your kid's class. You know, that's something I do a lot as well. That's very important. You know, there are good opportunities to get updates on your child, to find out what's going on. You see what I'm saying? But there are also time to get other to get updates. But that's one of the things you can use. That's one of the tools that's available to you. The teachers, the people that's involved in their day-to-day activities at the school. So why not use it? You see what I mean? You can email the teacher. You can call the school. You know, all of those things. PTA meetings. You know, do all those things. If you can't do all of them, do some or one or the other or whatever. You know, it'll help you find out what's going on with your child at the school. If they're being bullied, if they're being good, if they're being bad, if they're skipping classes, if they're in and out of the hallways. You know, who they're hanging out with. Are they good company, bad company? You know, it's okay to be cool, but you don't have to be cool at somebody else's expense. Okay? I don't condone bullying, you know, and I don't want my kids to be bullies, nor do I want them to be bullied. Okay? Neither or. You understand what I'm saying? So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask right now. Ask your questions. I'm listening. I'll read them. Let me see. Hello, Paula. How are you? See what Chandra says. Chandra says, know the policies and procedures of the school district and the Department of Education and any federal laws. Yes, that's also important because the more you know, the better you can go about finding out all the information, better way you can protect your child, better way if something comes up or you need something for you to get it. Okay, we have to get engaged as parents. When the faculty see that you care, they respond differently to the child. Definitely, because the more you show up, trust me, they'll know who your child is. And they'll look out for them. You know? What's going on, Tal? Matter of fact, let me bring Chandra on since she's on in Compton. Oh, I don't know if she's on. I don't see it. What's going on, Volmi? What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Where are you located at tonight? Where are you listening from? Let us know. All right. Hey, Paula, thanks for watching tonight. Whoever else is listening, thank you for listening. But those things that I mentioned are very important. Get to know your child. Find out what's going on with them. You know, get with the teachers and so on and so forth. You may help them. You know, help your child succeed. Okay? Help your child succeed. Let's see if I can bring Sean back on. No, request phone. Okay, I don't know what it says. What happened? Bring Sean back on. No answer. The live video, yes. Okay. Maybe she's off. I don't know. Okay. Well, I don't know what happened. But anyway, it is important to get involved in your child's life. It is important to go to the school, communicate with the teachers, speak with the teachers, the principals. You know, the more they get to know you, the more they'll probably look out for your child. The more they'll pay attention to your child. That way, by the following time that you show up there, they'll be able to tell you, oh yeah, he was doing this, he was doing that, this and that is going on with him or her, you know. So I advise you to go up to the school or wherever your child or children are. Okay, help them with their homework. Too many times I see parents just throw the kids to the side with by themselves to help them with the homework. Even if you don't know it, but you trying, it's still helpful to them. And if they don't want your help, that may be a little something different. But depending on their age, they're not gonna just toss you to the side like that. You know, especially when they're in the infant and up to like I want to say sixth, seventh grade. Of course, they want your help. They need your help a lot of times. Especially from they start having homework in kindergarten, from kindergarten to fifth grade. Of course, they want you. Of course, they want your help. They're gonna have questions, and the teacher's not gonna be around, and you're the best teacher for them. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to be there to help them get through and over some of those things. It is your job, believe it or not. Okay? And you're not going to know everything. Nobody's asking you to know everything. You know you're not gonna know everything. But you're gonna do your best. Hey Chandra, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. Tired.
I see, I was just about to say that. You look tired.
I know, my eyes look terrible.
You been working today?
Excuse me?
Working hard or hardly working?
When do I ever? Hey Janelle, when do I ever not work hard?
Chandra, you were listening in on the show. What are your thoughts on some of those topics that I just touched based on?
I think the biggest one for me was the one I posted about being engaged with the being engaged in the schools. Sadly enough, every time I go to schools and volunteer or whatever, that's the biggest cry that most people say. And I know Paula says the same thing because we were talking about it the other day that parents don't come out to PTA meetings, they don't participate in SAC. I know some parents work because I know for me when my daughter was smaller, I worked. But I would either go early or come late, but I still was there, or I would see if one of my friends would go so they would know that somebody cared about that child. And a lot of times when parents, hey Zareli, hey everybody that's chiming in, when people see your face, just like if your loved ones is sick, just like if your child's in school, when they see your face, they respond differently to the child. And if you can't go, then make sure that you send a representation. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing is knowing the capacity. What I was talking about in regards to that was know what your child's learning level is. I never forget when my daughter was, I want to say kindergarten. Yeah, it was kindergarten, her first year in school. And the teacher said to me that my daughter was a perfectionist. And I'm like, well, that's what she should be. She's not coming to school to get work wrong. And so, long story short, it was her first year teaching, and she said that my daughter had like a learning disability. I'm like, lady, are you conscious? This child recited her whole pre-K graduation, so my child have a learning disability. And so I had to go backwards and forward with the media person, whoever they, magnet person coordinator. They ended up moving her, and my daughter thrived. So you definitely have to make sure that the parents in first teacher.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. The first team is you and God, first part of the team, and then you and the child and the other parent if possible.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
We must get involved more than we do now. Not only for us, but also for the child. Not only for us to find out what's going on with the child to be in the know, but also for the child because when they see you coming up there often, meeting with their teachers, it helps them to behave differently.
Oh yes.
And not do certain things.
Absolutely. And the good thing about it, yes, Irene, she said, I keep coming even after kindergarten. Yes. Right. So my daughter, I think she had one out-of-body experience. That was her ninth grade year. And the gentleman told her, like, listen, you have a good parent because there are times they call parents and parents curse them out and like, I'm not coming to that school. Do whatever you gotta do to them, I'm not coming. And he really told her that. And also, what I do is for my friends' kids, because I used to, matter of fact, I gotta renew my vendor badge. I used to have a vendor badge, so I could go to any campus and just log in. So I used to scare them. I'm like, don't play, because you never know when I'm gonna be, on campus. And so it worked for my friends' kids also.
That's awesome. That's part of the village.
Right, exactly,
That's part of the village.
Irene is on, and she has. Hey, Edwina. Irene has. I don't know. Irene has 3 or 4 kids, but she has 2 young kings, is what I call them. They are phenomenal, and I think she's done a yeoman's job. I don't know if she wants to put in some of her comments or some of her.
Okay, Irene says, and keep coming even after kindergarten, especially in third with mandatory retention. Yeah, definitely keep going after kindergarten, because kindergarten is just the beginning. Just the beginning. You know, Irene also says create words wall and home libraries. Check the new system sys for all student data. Yeah, create word wall. I don't have a word wall, but what I do is I have a notebook that let's say we're reading or something, or they have a homework, or I just decide I want them to work on this. I take out the notebook and I write it out, and I have them write it all the way down. Write it over and over all the way down. Or I give them different words to recite or to spell until they get used to it, or until they know it. Went to my daughter's school, kindergarten. She asked me how to spell her last name. I said, "What do you mean, to spell your last name?" Now I don't know if she was just nervous or what, but I helped her out, and she did the J. Sometimes it's cute, but sometimes it's not cute. It's cute because they're young. They're trying. She did the J backwards. I said, okay.
Which daughter was this?
What's that?
Which daughter was this?
My youngest. I took her to kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So after she got home, I called the mother, said she needs to work on this and that, and I don't know for why, but the school Mondays and today they started the younger ones at a later date than the others, and then next week they started with the regular time. It was tiring on me because I had to wake up extra early to go pick her up today. The other day she stayed with me, but anyways, but I picked up right away what she had to work on. So I told her to, when you get home, make sure you do this. And I followed through by calling her mother after I know the time that they're picked up, to say, hey, work on that. And I actually went by there to make sure that she was doing it. But it is important to get involved in the kid's life and make those little things. Like she said, make the wall. One thing I want to do, I can make the suggestion to you guys. You don't have to follow it, but it's just a suggestion. Pick a wall in their room, if they have their own room, and make it like a black wall. And put a chalk and erasers so they can write, do homework, practice certain things, and so on. It'll help them a lot. Let them play teacher, student and teacher. It'll save you on paper, and it'll help them as well. All right. Irene also says use the Parent Resource Center at JFK Middle. That one, that's where Stacy went. I actually like that school. I probably should take my other girls there. Hi, Pastor. Huh?
I said, yeah, JFK has come a long way. I like how they actually have, it's like a campus, because you go from Mary McLeod Bethune to JFK, and then hopefully to Suncoast, but all the kids don't necessarily go to Suncoast. But I like that Tri-County community, like university type of a setup that they have there. And Dr. Robinson, who was supposed to be on tonight, was instrumental in staggering the schools like that.
That's good.
She was
That's good.
instrumental.
I actually like Dr. Robinson, and I want to tell you guys to get out and vote for Dr. Robinson. I believe in her vision. I believe in what she's saying, and if you follow her track record, she's done well for the school district.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So get out and vote on August 28th. Make sure y'all re-elect Dr. Deborah Robinson.
And early vote is open.
Right. Mary, you said Pastor Marcus is there. I wish I could see him so I can ask him a few questions.
Yeah, let me see.
Tell him to make a comment. Pastor Marcus, if you're still on, make a comment. Maybe I can send you an invite or something, or like the page so I can see you. Send you an invite. I'd like to ask you a question or two about because you're a pastor, and I know some of that may go along with the sheep that you pastor. Okay. Irene also says staggered start to give each kinner the time to get acclimated and transition smoothly. I guess so. I guess so. Still stuck on the parent though, but
the morning time though,
Dollar Tree has alphabets that can be cut apart. Okay, so that's good points to for some of you parents that's watching and listening. Check out Dollar Tree and Google grade level appropriate words for your child's level. Introduce them 5 times, 5 words per week. Yeah, and actually the school give you this what they call it. They call it something words, triggered words or something word, a whole list of words for them to practice, spell and say and stuff like that. I thought was also nice. That helped a lot as well. And if everything else fails, there's always YouTube. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Last time I had my sister on the show, she mentioned some of those things. She's a teacher. There's a lot of that stuff on there. Irene also says Dr. Robinson was at Washington today. She rocks. Cool. Oh, okay. Irene, are you a teacher?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I think she is.
Okay, hello, Toya. I don't see the past yet. Okay, 52 weeks, that is a great vocabulary builder. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because there is a study, and I think you were talking about, I know you mentioned it early, and you've mentioned on quite a few of your shows, in regards to parents affirming their children. And there is a study, I mean, it's not a secret, and they talk about the number of words and the number of affirmations that we use in our culture compared to what other people use in their culture. And the numbers are staggering. I mean, we're like 1/3. So whereas a child in middle class or upper class, their vocabulary by a certain age may be 10,000 words, where our kids may be 3,000 words. And a lot of that has to do with us having communication with our kids. And I had to laugh when I went through this study because I said, I know I was guilty of it early on until I went to parenting class. And like, I gave an example. Like if a child is standing in a chair and the child stands and say, oh, mommy, look at that pretty bird. And in other cultures, they'll say, oh, well, what kind of bird is it? What color is the bird? What sound does the bird make? So they have a whole conversation about this bird, which is building the vocabulary, building the communications. Whereas in our culture, what we first thing if a child stands on the table, what's the first thing we tell the child? Get that out that chair. And so immediately that shuts all communication off, and it's a habit, it's a practice that we do on a regular basis. Okay, she said she's a recent mental health counselor. So yeah, so even the way that we have dialogue with our kids is something that we have to how can I say, we have to get better at practicing at it and not just always shut our children down. Because I know for me, I'm guilty. Younger, before I got certified in parenting, my daughter would get in the car and she'd be, and I'm like, can you be quiet? Can you stop talking? And then I had to learn, no, don't talk to you, she gonna talk to somebody else.
That's how I
So you
look
said
at
a
it.
lot of powerful things. Yeah, a lot of powerful things about that communication, that affirmation, because really and truthfully, that makes a big difference in the production of the child during their school years.
That's how I look at it actually, especially in the car thing. Um, the car when they speak, I have conversations with them, and then when I get tired, I let them watch something. But I have conversations with them, especially if I'm going somewhere and I don't want the angels to fall asleep. I'll speak to them. I'll ask them certain questions, or we'll play a game, like a word game or something like that. Or we'll do colors, or we'll say, I see something that starts with such and such, or anything that would get their minds involved or intrigued. I do because I know how important it is, and they like it. Thank God they like it, because sometimes if they don't like it, they'll be like, oh, again, you know, you know how they get, you know how they act, you know. So yeah. Paula says also recent graduate as a mental health counselor. Oh, that's cool. I am up for all children. That's awesome. That's awesome. Paula, this month we were talking about children. If you wouldn't mind, I could bring you on to speak on some of those things or from your experience. Um, Probably next week we'll talk about what can parents do to better their child's education or to be more involved. So maybe you can come on the live or come on the show to speak on some of those things if you don't mind. Hit me up, get with my people will get with you. Make a comment, let me know if you're interested, and myself or V or someone will contact you. Okay? Um, it is 11 o'clock. I think Chandra's trying to come back on. Let her come back on. Oh, sorry, Irene. I meant Irene. I'm sorry, Irene. I didn't say Irene. What did I say, Paula?
You said Paula. Paula is the baker, not
Paula's
Lowe's.
the
Now there's Lowe's and Paula's two different people.
Right. I'm sorry. I meant Irene. Irene Moore. That's what I meant. All right. Any last words you'd like to say, Chandra?
No. I'm good. Thank you for the platform, and I think more and more people can join out, getting their home, getting the kids ready for school tomorrow.
It's about that time. The first 2 weeks are crazy. Irene, make sure you like the page real quick, because I was going to try to send you an invite, but I can't see you. You have to make sure you like the page so next time I can do that. All right. Thank you, Chandra.
All right. Have a great evening.
All right.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Take care. All right. Yeah, me too. And Lowe's pass too. Let me get a last word from Irene, not Paula, Irene, before we leave. All right, as she gets ready to come on, hopefully. All right. All right. But yes, guys, make sure you get involved in your child's education. Not everybody can make it in sports. Okay? Not everybody can make it in sports, so next best thing is to remind on this. And even if you can make it in sports, you also want to have this, because you never know what's gonna happen, or what can happen, or what's going to happen. So be sure that you keep your mind sharp. Hopefully you all guys understand what I'm saying. All right. Hello there, Irene.
Hi. I didn't understand how to do that. I'm so sorry. I'm so green with technology.
It's all good. It's all good. I see you big bum back there.
You see them? They are everywhere.
Don't hide now.
They should be needed.
Any last anything you'd like to share with the people real quick? Don't give them too much. So we're gonna save the rest for the show when you are actually on. But any words you'd like to share with them based on what we've spoken about today? Well, first of all, how long you been teaching?
I didn't get all of it when you guys were talking, but I did hear you guys talking about parental involvement, and I think there's a huge difference between parental involvement and parental dedication.
Okay, please elaborate.
Uh, because when we say involvement, people think that's signing papers or sending money in for field trips or maybe showing up for one meeting, like the very meet the teacher initial meeting. But dedication is those. We need parents to do projects. We need parents to do homework. We need parents to volunteer. We need parents to come in and share about their careers. We need parents to show up and show kids that they care about them. Because when we have parents who are involved in the classroom and involved in the school and involved in all aspects of the children's life, their success rates rocket. And it doesn't always have to be, like she said, a parent. Send a representation. It could be a cousin or uncle, any adult who's there to support them. It's for everybody.
That's cool. That's cool. How long you been teaching?
This is my 20th year.
20th year?
Yes.
Like 20.
20.
Like the 0 after the 2.
The 0 after the 2, not before the 2.
That's a long time.
I know.
I'm sure you're making a difference out there. Thank you.
I like to think so. Hope so. I try my best.
What made you get into teaching?
Honestly, I wanted to be a mommy.
You wanted to be a what?
A mommy.
A mommy. Really?
A mommy.
And you went into teaching? Okay, she just froze. Alright. Don't know what happened. Come back on. Alright. Her thing just froze. Alright, I guess we'll let her go for now. Make sure you guys catch her when she's actually on. But this is one of those things we spoke about. When did we speak about that? Last week? Last week or Tuesday?
Tuesday
I
plus
think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday and last week.
Tuesday and last week?
Yeah.
When I was talking about teachers going to teaching for different things. That was Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you guys go back and watch Tuesday's show, you'll see how we talked about some